Wander Middle-earth in the Lore of the Rings podcast, where we wander the world of J.R.R. Tolkien. In the Lore of the Rings podcast, we explore the inspiring tales and rich mythology of Tolkien's Lord of the Rings legendarium, and connect it to the movies and the new Rings of Power series. Available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. You'll find a new, lore-packed episode every Thursday. Come wander and not be lost with the Lore of the Rings podcast.
Hello, Nomads, and welcome to episode 98 of the Nomads Fantasy. I am your host for this evening, and my name is Eric. And with me, I have my fellow Metaverse residents, Brandon.
Whoa, I'm like in the game, man.
What is that from?
Nothing. This is all. This is
Oh,
stupid.
God. That was good. I like that. And we also have Dave.
Why shouldn't people be allowed to teleport wherever they want? Palmer Luckey, founder of Oculus VR.
Oh,
Whoa.
all right.
He wants to teleport you to another world, bro.
Cerebral, yeah. If you haven't guessed, we're talking about some VR games this week. We're diving right into the
future.
metaverse, the future of gaming, as some
Stop saying
would
that
say.
word.
What, future or meta?
No, metaverse.
Metaverse? It's all about the metaverse, baby. Mark
This is not
Zuckerberg.
Ready Player One.
Mark Zuckerberg wants to suck us into the metaverse, and we're at his whim. But before we get into the metaverse, we did have a little bit. Well, actually, let's throw it over to Dave first for the a little recap
Cal.
on what we got coming up for the schedule. Yeah.
Yeah, we're playing some VR games this week. Next week, we're going to get ready for the summer blockbuster season and watch the original Predator, which...
Hell yes. Dave has never seen it.
It's going to be interesting. Never seen it. Yeah, it should be a fun one because I know all about... I love Arnold's 80 movies, but it's just one I never got, though. And then after that, we hit Show 100.
Let's go. Episode 100.
Yeah,
Hey.
we're going to have a little
I know.
mishmash of stuff kind of going on that day.
Yep.
Probably some games, some topics, some discussions, all sorts of stuff. So
Kind of like I picture like a 70s skit show, you know, where it's just like,
Yeah. Just bring a bunch of stuff, a bunch of different segments and one after the other. Yeah. That'll be fun.
yeah,
Nomad
Excited to see
Blowout.
yep.
yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens when we get going on there. Check out the Twitters though if you want to follow along there, and we've got schedules out. We will have all sorts of details to follow. So
Yes. Thank you, Dave. We also got a little social going on this week. We asked the Twitterverse about VR and what they thought of it. Only got one reply, but it's from our number one fan, our good buddy Jake. And he says, I have a PSVR version 1. It's a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I figured out that I get motion sick pretty easy, so short sessions. Played Skyrim, which was sweet. Star Trek Bridge Crew was fantastic. And tried
Yes.
playing Zenith, which was a really unique experience, but fun. Very cool.
I'm with him. I'm with the motion sick people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a little bit. Look at a little queasy. You got to keep it. You can't be in there too long. Well, once you kind of get used to it, it's okay. But
I've
talk
never,
about that later.
never had a problem with motion sickness in VR. Like, no, it's never
not
bothered
even
me.
with walking controls, just
Nope.
regular walking around.
I can
and looking
do,
around?
I can do the smooth movement, smooth turning, no problem, no issues. But
Lucky you.
I know.
Take some Dramamine, but
do you get car motion sickness in cars?
if you read in cars, yeah, I get
Okay,
a little pukey if I read in cars.
yeah,
That'll happen too.
never had that either. Okay,
Maybe I get those little wristbands. They put a little pressure on your pressure points. Little VR wristbands. I wonder if
There
I
you
can
go.
increase my VR stamina. train myself up.
well, we also got an email. Surprisingly,
Ooh,
this past
whoa.
week, I actually feel bad. We got this email about 3 weeks ago, but I just
Oh my god.
we never get emails.
We're always asking.
We
You
never
gotta
get
call it a
emails, so
letter.
I forget about it. Yeah, we got a letter. Somebody
A letter has come for the Nomads.
somebody
You get a
wrote
PO
in.
box. It's coming.
They sent it to my mailing address, even though I've never given that out, but somehow they found it. Yeah, we never get emails, so I never think to check the email. I check it like, I don't know, maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks or so, just to see if anything came in there. But yeah, we did get an email this week. This email comes from Tejas is how you say his name. And he says, "Hey there, Nomads. You were asking for emails? Well, here you go."
Oh, sweet.
Oh, nice.
With the big live action adaptation of the Saint Seiya series coming to theaters soon, stick with me. What are your thoughts on the different live action anime adapted movies? Now I'm gonna, since we're not all super anime fans here, I'm gonna twist it a little bit and get our thoughts on just live action adaptations, period. Just because I know there's been a lot of that lately in, especially with Disney, doing all live adaptations of all their animated films, all their classics. But what are your general thoughts on live action adaptations of animated properties?
Can it be done? Yes.
Can it be done successfully?
And I think somebody
Absolutely.
could do it. I don't know if we have seen a great version yet.
I
Live
agree.
action, I don't know. I'm not really impressed. There's something corporate-y, something safe about what I've seen so far, and what I like about anime, it's just so wild.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's hard to get, but like, come on, we can get wild. We can get wild with pretty much any medium out there these days. So, of course, you could probably do anime to a live action film. I think it can be done. We haven't done it yet.
I mean, there's plenty of
Anime,
them.
if you translate it to live action, probably ends up looking like Indian cinema, where
Right.
it's like a lot of like,
Or like,
coming at
That's
the
fine.
camera.
What
Like,
I think of
you know,
is like Power Rangers,
That's
like the
kinda what
old
it
Power
would be.
Rangers show. Like that was live action, but it seems like I think it was a manga originally adapted from that. But like it seems like it should have been an anime and not like live action because it's they try to do too much. It just doesn't translate well.
That's
to
why you gotta do it. You gotta, I don't know, like the more
Aren't they
realistic
doing
style.
My Hero?
They are doing My Hero. They did, and Netflix is really horny for the live action anime adaptations. They've already done Cowboy Bebop, which was a big old flopperooski. Nobody
Right.
liked that
I'm
one.
curious to see that.
They did whatchamacallit? Full Metal Alchemist. I haven't watched that one, but I loved the anime. But I don't really have any interest in live action adaptations.
So like I've seen Trigun back in the day, and that was a space western, and I think you could do a really kick-ass live action of that. I think that'd be really cool, and you probably could do it into a single season of just live action, just be done with it. I would love to see that.
Some fucking Robotech, like that. Like that's like the old '80s like anime cartoon stuff.
Yeah,
Let's get some Robotech live action stuff going on.
Well, one of my favorite anime and just overall media properties ever, Dragon Ball. They did a horrible live action adaptation.
Did they?
A while ago called Dragon Ball Evolution, and it was a travesty to the entire franchise. It was terrible. Like that soured the taste in my mouth for any live action anime adaptations. Period.
Yeah,
Like
dude,
mangas,
like-
we saw they can do. Like we watched Alice in Borderlands, 2 seasons of that.
Right.
Like,
And it makes
that
more.
got pulled over fantastically.
I mean, Alice in Borderlands is like more grounded,
yeah,
quote
yeah.
unquote, I suppose.
Right.
So it works better than something like people throwing fireballs and flying in the air. So
Sure.
I guess it depends on the anime, like the property as well.
correct. Yeah.
You gotta be true to the source material because that's why the people are there.
Yes, absolutely. Cool. Well, I'm glad we
Oh
got
wait,
that.
hey, wait, hold on a second though.
Oh, yeah.
Before we wrap up though, like Akira is the goal though, I think, right? Like people I feel have tried to do Akira. They know it's a big deal and it keeps getting killed in production. But they are trying to do that one, right? I mean,
I feel like something like that. It's such a
you could
pop
totally
culture,
do it, though.
but dude. There's so many. Like it's
That
such
would
an
be
icon.
insane.
Like a pop culture icon, touchstone, anime touchstone that you have to do it. If you're gonna do it, you have to do it right, and you have to get it right, or else people.
2 days ago, I just googled it. 2 days ago, from Animation World Network, Takia Waititi, is that it from the Marvel movies?
Taika
Direct
Waititi.
a live action Akira film from 2 days ago. So they're still talking about it.
All right,
And
hold
they're
on
just
a second.
recycling news articles on
I
me,
like
but-
him. He can do good work.
Yeah.
I've seen really good stuff from him, so I could see it. He's not who I would have picked though. I don't know.
Hey, he made took the goofy ass Guardians of the Galaxy and turned that into a franchise of all franchises. So
They did Ghost in the Shell with Scarlett Johansson, which I never saw
Yeah.
that one, but I heard it was, I didn't hear it was like super terrible, but I heard it was just like pretty middling. So I don't know if they've really knocked it out of the park yet with any
forgot
live
about that.
action adaptation, period. Especially Disney's bullshit that they're pumping out. Like, just stop. Stop
I
it.
just
Just
milking
take a
that
breath.
nostalgia.
Look what you're
tea.
doing,
Just
and then think
milking
about it. It's just to see the check boxes and everything being pumped out. It took so long for them to make a good video game movie, and Super Mario Brothers did. Even I was like, no way, they're gonna ruin it. they're just never gonna do this ever again. And even I was like, holy shit, they finally did it. They pulled it off. That was a great movie. And
Mm-hmm.
it's been it took years and years and years for us to get a good video game movie or
Yeah.
adaptation, and like anime, it's gonna take longer for
Yeah.
somebody to do it right,
Yep. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Tejas, thank you very much for the email. Please, please, anyone else out there listening, if you want to send us an email, you can email nomadsofantasy@gmail.com. I don't think I said the Twitter either. @nomadsofantasy on Twitter, too, if you want to get at us there. But yeah, that was a good Act 1. We'll wrap it up here, and then we will dive right into the metaverse right after this. And we are back to talk about some VR. That stands for virtual reality, if you didn't know. We're diving into the metaverse. I keep saying metaverse. I can't not say metaverse.
It was
just because
created
it's
by
such a
Max
dumb word.
Headroom. It's really his verse. We're in his world
Really,
now.
we're living in his world. Yes. So we each brought some over the course of the past week or two. We've each played some games. We're kind of gonna go round robin style through some of the games that we played. We played some games together, some games on our own. Just want to shout out some of the ones that we enjoyed, some of our favorite ones. But before we kind of get into that, I just wanted to talk about VR in general, what our thoughts are on it, what the general state of VR in gaming is today. Let's just kick it off. I guess what's go ahead.
I was gonna say we all played on Meta Quest 2, which is something
We
that
did.
we should mention.
We did all play
Probably-
our games on MetaQuest 2.
The most affordable of them all. Essentially, you don't need a console to play.
And most convenient.
Yeah, I mean, is it do any of the other ones have the full wireless Wi-Fi capability of it? So
I don't think any of them at this point are like full inside out tracking wireless besides the Quest at this point. All the other, I mean, there's obviously more powerful headsets that you can connect to like a gaming PC, and you can play the higher end VR games like Half-Life Alyx, and then there's the PlayStation
just came
VR.
out.
Yep.
PSVR 2.
PSVR 2 is the latest iteration of that. Which PSVR 1 was my first foray into VR. I bought that one a while ago, not when it first came out, but I was always curious about VR, and I needed kind of an entry point because like fucking VR is so expensive. If you wanna go for some of the higher end headsets, like some of those cost
They're ridiculous.
$1,000.
The Valve Index is $1,500 by comparison to $400 for the MetaQuest, which
like
insane.
all in one. The PlayStation VR was nice because like I already had my PS4 console, so all I needed to do was buy the headset, and I bought it a couple years after it came out, and I think I got it at a great deal, like $150 or $200 or something.
Well,
so I got good mileage out of that while it lasted. You know, the wiring and the being wired to the console was kind of a pain in the ass just because like you got 10 wires coming out of your head and it connects to this little converter box that you have to plug into the back of the console.
The little sticks with the balls on the end too.
Yep. You had the wands. Yeah. Not very ergonomic at all to your hands. But yeah, once I got the Quest 2, I was like, this is a game changer. No wires. I can fucking take this thing wherever I want. I can play downstairs. I can play in my office.
The controllers are nice and comfy. I like how they have just like the haptic feedback where if you're just touching a button, you can like your hands will bend in game, which is very nice.
They got the tracking, the hand tracking.
The experience in general, I think, is very impressive. Like, hey, wow, VR! I'm gonna get this headset. I'm gonna hop in and do it. It's like, but like, how does it actually work? The whole presentation, how they, do like a orientation to get you acclimated to using VR, and it's very innovative. But the controls, man, I was like, whoa, who even thought of that? And how do they do this? Because you just glide your thumb across the top of it, and it in the game it will show your virtual hands moving along, and it's so accurate. And then the fingers, just lifting them up and just off of the triggers, not pushing them down or anything, just lifting them up. It will move your fingers in the game. It's really nice.
Have you tried like any games with the hand tracking? Because they do, like MetaQuest has the hand tracking now, like without the controllers. Like you can put your controllers down and it'll track your hands as long as you have to be in like an adequately lit room. But like the cameras on the headset, there are. You like next time you pick up your Quest 2, don't get the controllers. Just turn your headset on, put your hands in front of the headset, and it'll track your hands. Like your movement. No, I'm not kidding. Yeah,
this is the future, man.
They added full hand tracking like not too long ago, maybe within the past year.
Oh my god! But it only works with like certain things, right?
There are not all games are supported. It's only games that the developers put that functionality into the game. But there are games out there that support like the full hand tracking, and more games are putting that into it. But it's really
have to
cool.
Look into that
because so like to
open a whole new world
to push like all your functions are based on hand gestures. So if you make like an OK symbol in VR, it'll bring up your menu, and then you like use your fingers to navigate around the menu to select what you want.
Look like a crazy chef saying, "Oh, this is a special meatball." Hey.
It's just a nice.
No, it's really impressive.
You're trying to play a game where you're trying to do that, but the game keeps putting you in the menu. No,
right.
I don't want to.
Oh,
no,
that's
chef.
so good.
What's the matter?
Wow.
Do you want to quit this game? No.
It is really impressive for an all-in-one package. No like external hardware required. It's all in the headset, all in the controllers.
It's a wow factor that delivers. Like you will get wowed, especially if you haven't done it ever. But like if you've played it maybe in the '90s and like it was what it was. But now where we're at, it is.
They didn't have it in the '90s.
It is
the
a
Virtual
game
Boy.
changer.
Virtual Boy in the '90s.
I played the Kickstarter Oculus. One of the guys at work at our old place had it, and it has come a long way in just that short amount of time. Like
it's crazy.
The refresh rate and the screen resolution on it from the original Kickstarter models has come a long way. So
it's definitely the most accessible VR has ever been. Like this had like if you, I would not recommend anything else to anyone looking to get into VR besides the Quest 2. Because like I said, it's super easy to set up. Like when you initially get it, it's like you put it on and you got to have the stupid Meta account or whatever, It's required to actually play games.
Whatever.
You need a Facebook account and you need to link it to this headset.
That is
That's the only
worst part.
downside of it.
Apple does that. Right?
The worst part about VR is
Right.
Is the maintenance of stuff. Like having to type in like email addresses on stuff is like annoying because you don't have a keyboard. You're used to like ripping out. It's like it's worse than a controller, like a console controller, but at the same like. And then I don't know. We were talking before about menus and system stuff, but that stuff can all be really the technology is there. It's just they're just adapting and getting used to the space, really.
It's also, it's just a different interface. Like we're so used to, like when you hop on Xbox, we know exactly what to do. We know how to party up. We know how to hop in a game. We know how to invite each other.
Yeah.
Like that's like second nature to us now. But we were trying to, we hopped on VR trying to play games together. And we're like, how the fuck do we do this? We have to invite to the party and then we have to join like
it's a
call through
not a
Facebook
party.
Messenger.
Yep.
And then we go into each other's like homes.
Well, one of us becomes a host, so it's
right.
So again, go back a little bit.
Come to my hangout.
When you create your account, when you get all oriented to like whatever it is your preferences are going to be, you have to pick a home. You have a home base. So when you boot up your Quest, you have whatever skin, whatever theme you want to see, and everyone's going to have one of these, and you can go to each other's homes, and it's a virtual home. Now, this is actually pretty cool because it has the spatial audio going on.
Yeah,
right.
We were just hanging out in Dave's little home for a little bit. Dave, old Chinese man, he was just on the floor.
Playing. We'll just preface that playing VR when your back hurts. It's not
the best idea.
So Dave is sitting on a like we're in like this very lavish like backyard and like
I'm classy,
incredible vista, and you're sitting on these beautiful lounge couches outside. But like you have no legs, so you just this, and I don't know why you're Asian, but you're like in the furniture, dude. It was
Dave was sitting on a couch in real life, so it looked like he was sinking through the floor in VR.
I was laying on the floor at points, just staring at the sky.
Oh my god,
it is tough. That's the thing with VR though. Like we're talking about motion controls, and the Wii brought the motion controls to like the main populace, but like you don't always feel like playing motion games, which is the thing that's different. That's tough about VR is that
that's the downside of VR.
You got to have a little bit of motivation, and you got to put a little effort into it to actually play VR stuff. Which
100%,
it's an experience, and it's definitely worth the experience. But sometimes
with
you just
friends,
feel like
it's pretty sweet.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
It is. Like that was the first time I had played with anybody in VR, really, and I mean. We played, what was it, Walkabout Golf?
Walkabout Mini Golf, yeah.
Mini Golf, which is awesome because Mini Golf is, in general, awesome. But you can go to, like, the craziest vistas or, like, you can, anything that your mind can come up with.
We were looking at the artwork last night. Was it last night?
Yeah.
Yeah. It is. The vistas are great.
It's, like, simple. It's simple because, I mean, the Quest is running off, like, mobile hardware. It's not the most powerful headset in the world.
It's pretty good. It's better than mobile, I'd say, but yeah.
They do
the frame rate's good though, which is
they
important.
do a really good job of saving on resources like Walkabout Mini Golf we're saying. Everything is like simple polygons, but they make the most of it and they make it look clean and, nice and fresh and it's smooth like you said. This is another thing I wanted to bring up. We talk about frame rate in video games, and everybody's complaining about 30 FPS. Everything needs to be 60 frames per second now, blah, 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 whatever. I can handle a 30 FPS game on console, but when the frame rate in VR sucks, it's going to make you sick.
It gets you nasty,
Because I tried to play this game. It's like a God mode game. It's called Deism. And I was excited to play it. It's like a God mode city builder thing.
That's cool.
So I hopped in, and the frame rate was just absolutely terrible. Like it was below 30 frames per second. It was hitching. Like everything was in slow motion. Like my hand movements weren't matching up with what was happening in real
I
life.
can't
So
take that
it was
long.
like I was like, I gotta get out of here. Like I thought it was something with my headset maybe, because I couldn't find anything online about anybody else experiencing this. But I tried a couple different times, and I'm like, it's just not working. So, and that sucks because like I wanted to give that game a chance, but because the frame rate was terrible, I'm just like, I'm probably never gonna play this again. But
Someday.
that's yeah, like you said, Dave. I have the ambition to play VR. I'm like, oh,
Well,
I have
because
so
you use
many-
it for workouts and stuff.
right.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, I do the boxing game. One of the games I was going to bring up is called Thrill of the Fight.
The game
dude.
is great.
I love it. It's like probably like it got me through the winter. Because I mean, normally if in the summer I'm outside, I'm playing basketball, I'm going for runs and stuff. But in the winter, I'm stuck inside. I can't do any of that stuff. So over this past winter, Thrill of the Fight was like my main source of exercise. Because I was stuck
like
inside.
Fight
So it's like it's a boxing simulator essentially.
Is it
So
like you got any like career modes or stuff like
it's
that?
very simple. It's very like
Yeah, it's kind
bare
of cartoony
bones.
looking.
But it's bare bones. There's no like career mode or anything. But like the actual boxing mechanics feel really good and feel really accurate and real. You know, I think that's where they put most of their effort into, is making it feel like actual, like you're actually fighting someone.
You're exhausted, just swinging in the air and doing just keeping your arms and you're blocking.
Yeah, you're basically just shadow boxing.
Yeah, dude.
The whole time.
It is a workout.
What happens
And
when you get hit?
you're-
Like, does the
It's like-
controller
it gives
like
you
the
like a
headset
little-
vibrate or like a?
I think the controllers vibrate and it gives
Yeah,
you like a little
controllers.
flash, you know.
Yeah.
So
That's
it
kinda
lets
cool.
you know. It gives you feedback when you get
Nice.
hit.
Okay, that's cool.
Kind of picture like a Punch Out,
Mhm.
where
Yeah.
it's just like, here's a guy, he's easy, and here's a guy that's easy. But
They
not
ramp
as
up the
easy.
difficulty,
and then it goes
yeah.
up, and then eventually you're fighting. Like,
Soda Popsazinski's knocking you the fuck out.
yeah,
Well, Moneymaker is the Tyson. in this
Moneymaker.
game.
Okay, there you go.
He's tough.
Mr.
But
Dream.
they have different, like Brandon said, the fighters as you go up, they get harder. They all have different styles and weaknesses too, which is really
That's cool.
And the AI models,
Yeah.
I think, are really smart, and they, I think they present a really interesting challenge because each of them has a different fighting style, and there's like, I think there's 4 different difficulties. So there's like rookie, there's, you know, I forgot what they're all called, but
Yeah.
and then like the highest one is Outclass, like the super hard mode.
it has like other things too, though, like the gym thing. I like you can.
They have training modes. Yep.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
and you're just like
Heavy bag. You're hitting the heavy bag.
yeah, dude. You're just doing all those things, and it's like if you do it for a while, it's like, man, your arms get legit tired.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, I played this game so much that I TKO'd every single fighter on the hardest difficulty, and now I'm going through,
Wow.
and you can, like, after that, you can do custom difficulties, so you can mess with the sliders, increase their punch powers, increase their speeds.
Okay.
So now, since I beat the hardest difficulty, I'm ramping those sliders up, and now I'm trying to go through every fighter again. So,
That's pretty
yeah,
sweet. I wonder
really
if there's
cool,
a
yeah.
demo for that, because I did notice there are a lot of demos out there, which is nice because you kind of
It's on sale.
It's-
often it's
Is it?
it's definitely
Dude.
worth it if it's like $20 or less. I would say.
That's another thing I love about the Oculus Store. There's always something on sale. And if you have a game that you're waiting for, it's
Just
more than
favorite it.
likely to go on sale.
Or
Right.
wishlist it or whatever.
Wishlist it, you'll get the notification in the app when it goes on sale. Boom. There you go. But like they cycle out sales very regularly, and there's always a daily deal on the Oculus store, which is really nice.
Just to go back to Thrill of the Fight. So I have that game. I like at the end of the fight when they're deciding who wins the fight, and the ref's got your hands, and he's gonna raise one or the other to who won. You can beat the shit out of the ref.
Oh
He'll
yeah,
stand
you can
there.
just fucking punch the shit out of
his
the ref.
face, like his head moves and all that stuff, and you just beat him and all that stuff, and
Just give him a nice. Oh, I lost. Give him a nice right hook. To the fucking jaw.
Because I was like, can I do this? Am I gonna like? Do they
Yeah.
kick me out of the game? I'm like, nope. They just stands there taking it.
They
and
don't.
then-
Sorry, go ahead.
oh, and I was gonna say, go ahead.
I was gonna say they don't care about low blows either. Like you can
I
go
was
for the
gonna ask
balls
about
if you
that.
want. No, they don't. There's no like penalties or anything.
gonna-
Like you can do whatever you want.
sit on the
Let's go
ground
fun.
and punch up.
I've never tried that, but I'm curious how that would work.
Okay. My back hurts. Get me.
Oh, that's pretty funny. I had my wife try it real quick. She's like, "Let me try it." I'm like, "Sure, it's a workout." She got frightened instantly, and I'm like, "What happened?" And she says, "I put the headset on, and next thing you know, this giant man is just coming at me and just towering over me." I'm like, "Oh man!" I'm like,
Yeah.
I guess that would be kind of frightening, but because like when you get in the ring, he doesn't walk to you. He's over there. He's about like 10 feet away.
You teleport to the middle of the ring.
Yeah, you boom, like, he's instantly there. It's kind of a jump scare. So I didn't tell her that part.
Dude, and there's like some of the fighters are shorter. Some of them, there's like one of them that's like 7 feet tall, and you got to change up your strategy. You know, you got to go for the body shots instead, and you got to keep your distance because he's got long arms.
Again.
Yeah, just punch him right in the nuts.
There you go.
But no, I can't. Like, if you're looking for a way to exercise in VR, like Thrill the Fight is probably like one of the best things you can do.
Yeah,
who
makes that?
It is. I did want to shout them out. The developer and publisher is Sea Lost Interactive.
Oh,
they are working on a sequel, Thrill the Fight 2, and they're pretty close. I follow the Thrill the Fight subreddit, and they're always posting updates in there about the sequel, and it sounds like they're adding a lot of stuff multiplayer.
Oh, yeah.
They're adding multiplayer in the sequel.
Street
which
fighting.
would be really cool.
Going in the back locker. He's like, "You know what? What? That was a cheap shot. Let's take this right here, right now, you and me." You know?
Yep.
That'd be sweet.
But yeah, I'm pumped for that. That I can't recommend that enough if you're looking for a way to fucking get a nice cardio workout.
Brandon, so you mentioned your wife though. Have you guys tried the YouTube VR?
Yes.
Like doing the 360?
Yes, that's cool. My little one wants to, like, he's like 4, and I'm like, dude, you can't play VR. Like, it can't be good for your little brain.
His brain's gonna melt.
I don't know if it's gonna fit. But he wants to like watch like one thing, so I'm like, fine, YouTube. So we've all gone and like checked out VR YouTube, and I've actually let my little one like sit in my lap and I hold it, and then it's like we'll be on a boat and we'll look at elephants or something like that.
That's cool.
That's pretty cool. I'm like, I try to explain to him like, so this isn't real, but it was real, and somebody filmed it, and we can see it with these special glasses. And he's just like,
that's a good way of explaining it. Okay,
that's all I
usually I put my kids on roller coasters. I did one.
I've done that with him once before. I thought he was gonna freak out.
Skydiving off of a hot air balloon. I put my wife in that one.
Oh wow!
She's like, my legs are all jelly. I'm gonna fall down. I can't do this. I'm like, all right, you're okay. But
that's
it
cool.
is a trip for, I don't know, for a first time in it. It gets pretty intense. It's tough to.
Dude,
adapt.
It's weird
to
how
the
it
new
tricks
world.
your brain.
It does. It really does.
And like when you're in it and you're just, you forget the world around you sometimes. And like there have been times where I fucking like punched my desk or wall or something. I'm like, oops. It like snaps you back into reality. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, that's right. I'm in my small office. I'm not actually in the fucking boxing ring.
It really is virtual, but.
Yeah, there's that game, like I was talking to you guys before recording, called The Climb 2.
Mm-hmm.
And that's by Crytek.
No, really?
Yeah,
that's impressive.
Cool.
I mean, cool. Crytek is a legit studio, so for them to like make something like The Climb, like it looked really nice. There are limitations on.
Well, what is it? You're just climbing stuff?
You're climbing stuff. Yes, but it's beautiful locations.
Like rock climbing or building climbing or
all of the
all of the above. Yep. Okay, sweet. Yeah.
And it's up to you to make your path. So they just have all these different paths that you can take to get to the top. And I believe from watching the trailer and watching some YouTube people talk about it, you kind of, it's like when you play a racing game. I know Forza did this. I think Project Gotham did this, where you can have a ghost of yourself also. So you can see your friend's path.
That's cool.
So we all could see each other doing this, and how we got there could be different and how long it took, but we can race each other. I know you can race. I don't think it's in live. That'd be awesome if you can do it live, but I saw that as an option. Like, that's still pretty sweet. But it just looked really cool, and I'm afraid of heights big time. And I was just looking at some of these views, and I'm like, it looks real. I'm like, it would be incredible to do it virtually instead of the real thing, because I would never do the real thing.
Are you looking like you're
Right.
climbing an invisible ladder when you're doing it? Is that like you have to
Yeah,
reach
it's
out
like
and
those
grab
hand gestures.
handholds?
Have you ever?
Essentially,
Yeah,
and pull?
yeah. All games have. I don't know the exact controls, but a lot of games are doing this. Eric and I were playing Population 1, and if you put your guns away in that game, you can scale walls. You just use not the main...
It's the grip buttons. The grip buttons.
The
on
grip
this.
buttons. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good term. Yeah, the grip buttons. You use those, and that lets you climb up and scale a wall.
Huh.
A lot of
cool.
games are different. That seems like more of a common one. But yeah, that game has my attention, so I definitely want to check that out. That looks... And what's cool is that you're talking about these hand gestures. I could see this studio probably incorporating that.
Dude,
I don't
yeah,
even have to use
for
a
sure.
controller.
Crytek does
That's
make
sick.
some nice looking stuff. So that's. I think I saw a demo for that. I was downloading it, but did not have time to get in there. That looks interesting. That is a nice thing about VR too, is that you don't quite. It seems like there was a fair amount of like I'm used to, Xbox ecosystem and stuff like that. It seems like there was a lot more VR demos in the store than there are regular like game demos in like the Xbox.
Makes total sense.
Because it is, some of them, like the one I'm going to talk about was, it's like $30-$40. So, and a lot of the VR experiences are usually shorter. So, I was going to talk about Star Trek actually. We can get into this one.
Yeah.
Are you guys Trekkies?
No.
I'm not.
Not
Yeah,
Trekkie?
I'm kind of in the same camp. Like I'd
What's
be
your
willing
Trek of choice.
to. I haven't seen much besides like a couple. I tried to start at the original series. And
God,
I failed.
No, don't do that.
They had it on Netflix a while ago, and I'm like, in college, I'm like, I should really watch Star Trek. So I watched like maybe 5 episodes
back
of
in the
original
Kirk days.
series.
Yeah, those
And I'm
probably
like,
rough.
Oh, that's
it was okay.
history. Yeah.
I didn't hate it, but I'm just like,
Probably a little like
I could be watching.
I don't know.
Just campy.
Yeah, campy. Thank you. That's the word I'm looking for.
We will probably do a Star Trek episode. Probably not the first movie, but the second one. That was the good one.
Wrath of Khan.
Or the thing with Spock and all that stuff. Like that's a great movie. Wrath of Khan. There's some good moments in Star Trek.
Do I need
It's
the
a lot to
background?
ask.
Do I need all the history
No.
and lore?
But you
on
guys
Star
know,
Trek to
you
watch
know the
these
bridge
movies?
is, you know the captain, you know the ship, like the bridge layout or whatever. So this is Star Trek Bridge Crew, where essentially it's, I want to call it like a job simulator for being in the USS Starfleet or whatever, because it's pretty close.
Right, like you each have your positions and posts.
Yeah, wait.
and
Which
stuff.
era is this? Is this Picard?
So you can do multiple different versions of ships, and
that's pretty cool, actually.
so you can have AI people for it, or you can join online matches, and everybody plays their own station. So you go through like missions, and you go.
Do you hear that beep boop?
Yeah, absolutely, constantly. It's awesome. Like they do
sweet.
model out these bridges. I didn't unlock the next generation. That's my heart and home for my Star Trek. They are a little they're still fantastic to this day, but towards the beginning of the TNGs they were a little funnier. But yeah, pretty much any bridge you can. I forget what the name of the ship that they give you is, but it's a little different. But you have your navigator, your tactical person, you could be a captain, you have an engineer. So you have multiple people that can fill up multiple stations. And if you're playing with a person, it's you just sit in front of your keyboard and you always see like Star Trek and you're wondering like, what the fuck buttons are they pressing? They're just like sliding their fingers all over the place. Like this isn't real shit. Come on. But this is actually like full control panels and you see exactly what buttons they are pressing, and like they put good fun game mechanics behind it, because it's kind of like
what's one of the things you would do?
Like the co-op of it, like no one person can do everything. Like the navigator is in charge of like steering the ship, putting it in location to like make jumps to places and, general navigation. The tactical person controls the guns and the scanning and the teleporter. And then the engineer controls moving the power around based to, if you need to go to warp speed. You got to move power to the engines and divert things and repair things.
Is there a captain? Is that
Yeah, and then there's the captain
in the chair.
And then there's the captain. Yeah, and it's funny
man.
because
That's cool.
because I was doing the tutorial and I looked down and I got a skirt on and these damn sexy legs coming out and I'm like, whoa, I am looking good right now.
Good.
But it is like for a Trekkie, like it is like the ultimate fucking like Star Trek experience because you're doing what you always want to fucking do whenever you watch those shows and it does have, I was having trouble with the voice stuff. I got to redo that stuff, but you can just do everything with voice commands when you're playing with AI. Say tactical, scan the objective, and then they'll do whatever they got to do. And I'm sitting there trying to do it. Cool. I'm sitting in my living room. My wife's watching Netflix. My kid's playing with a dog, and I'm going, engineer, we need more power to the shields.
Shut up, Dave.
What the fuck is going on here? But it is so cool when you're in there, like, because you are like part of the bridge crew. It is. Do
you have like
fun.
Missions and objectives and shit?
Yeah, there's like there's a 3 to 5 hour campaign where you go through and you're leaving like the starport and you can press a button to go outside of the ship and kind of just like look around outside of the ship and then you let go and you're back in the captain's seat.
This sounds like fucking Sea of Thieves. A Sea of Thieves in VR would be really cool. It's like the same thing. You each got your job.
Sea of Thieves.
You each got your
would be
specific job.
great in VR.
This one is
that
fun.
Would be really, really cool.
You don't have to deal with VR sickness at all, which I loved because everybody's just sitting at their console.
You can just sit and play this one.
Yeah, right.
Like,
I want to sit here.
But you can pull. This is the one I was talking about with the finger fidelity, where you have to actually like squeeze triggers to point your fingers and then press buttons on a thing or slide things around.
Yeah, it's pretty cool how they do it. You get acclimated to it though. You don't think you will, but you do really quick.
Yeah,
I'm impressed with like this tech.
That's why the controls are so intuitive. I mean, to grab something, you literally just grab like you normally would with the grip controllers, And if you want to point your finger, you just point your finger out and push something. It's The
Navigator is one of those cool like throttle handles that you got to actually grab and pull back to go to warp speed, and it's
nice.
It's good. Yeah. Like the graphics, it's full voice acting like throughout the campaign or whatever. You got the people that pop up on the screen and we need help, please teleport these people out of here, and you got to go through a nebula to get there, and like
you have to like say stuff back. Affirmative, Captain.
You could. But that's why I wanted to play the online because I would have to role play if like you go play online and you're the all right, Captain, and you got to get into your shit.
Oh yeah, you could have an accent or something like that. That'd be good.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. So that was one I thought was super fun. I could see it being a little boring if you're not a Star Trek fan, you're not like into the Trek fantasy because like
sure
you go impulse drive to a thing, like you might have to wait like a couple seconds while this ship is traveling. Like it's not nonstop bang 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 action and stuff like that. It's your science fiction. Well,
I feel like you could just reskin the game and make it Star Wars and make it a fucking like Star Destroyer simulator.
Why don't do they have an X-wing game? Like X-wing would be.
I mean, they got They do have squadrons in VR, but it's not on Quest. It's only.
I think that would be cool. Though.
That
like
would be fucking awesome.
Imperial game, just to be the bad guys from like the original trilogy, and you're hunting down.
Yeah,
like
I want to be on the bridge of a Star Destroyer.
Yeah, just go around
so
like
cool.
Just TIE fighters. You got to be in the fighters. You get the A-wing, the Y-wing. You have different control layouts. Right. There you go. There's your next
you can
one.
sit in there and like be in the cockpit, and it'd probably be pretty realistic.
I was gonna say they have that. I played the so for the first Battlefront, they had the first remake of Battlefront on PlayStation VR. They had the VR like squadron missions, which I did those, and you're part of a TIE fighter, not a TIE fighter, an X-wing squadron, and you're like going around doing missions. It was super short. It was only like 20-30 minutes, but it was awesome. Like you get that feeling that you're flying an X-wing, and yeah, there's just nothing. There's nothing else like that. Yeah. But they need to. I mean, they like I said, they have squadrons in VR, but they, I think it's only on PlayStation.
They did the Vader stuff
and maybe Steam.
And I think the Vader stuff is the only Star Wars stuff you get. But
Vader Immortal is good. I only played the first episode so far. I have the other two, but I just haven't played them yet.
Well, we heard, same, man. I haven't I thought I would crush them, and I'm like, yeah,
they're short too.
They're cool.
I want to get back to it, but
yeah, but that's not canon though, right?
I think everything now technically is canon
Until-
since Disney took
Until
over
somebody
everything
buys
they
Disney,
make.
and then they throw all this
Right.
out. In the
Okay,
garbage.
so because like not to like really talk about that game, but like, and it's kind of a spoiler, but that's interesting because they have this Vader finds this stone. So this is when he's Vader. Padme is dead, and he's on Mustafar, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That'd be
you're like
sweet.
infiltrating
Talking-
his palace. Yeah.
And he's communicating to, or he's trying to communicate to Padme in the afterlife through this rock. I could be wrong, but like he's trying to use the Force to talk to somebody.
That's in the
who's
books
dead.
too.
They touch on some of that in the comics
Yeah.
too.
You
yeah.
witnessed it. You're like hiding. You're like sneaking through. It's actually pretty cool. That game is awesome. And they go on sale a lot. You get all three. Thank
bought the
God that
bundle.
like the Star Wars games are fun because like you're gonna play a Star Wars game. You're gonna want to get a blaster and you're gonna want to use a lightsaber and use the Force. And they do it.
When Vader, that first moment when Vader walks up to you, it's so intimidating.
And your head
He's
comes
like-
up to like the
He's
middle of his
towering
chest.
over
Yeah.
you. Yeah, he's towering over you. He's looking down at you, and he's right there in front of you. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That one is
Yeah.
very good graphic fidelity there too. They keep you in fairly close spaces so they can make it nice and good looking.
And the lightsaber combat feels good too. But I mean that wasn't the highlight for me. Just the Vader stuff is so good.
Yes. Yeah, definitely worth the
I
experience.
gotta finish.
I've been
those.
trying to work on the Tales of the Resistance.
Yeah, the Rise.
think-
One of the Tales of something. There's another Star Wars game on.
Yeah, and I got that
On
one
VR.
too, and I've been working on that. I was actually working on that. I keep getting lost in it, and it's just not intuitive sometimes. It's fun. It's got cute jokes in it. Star Wars Tales from Galaxy's Edge. That's what it's called. It's good. It's worth it. Definitely get it when it's on sale. And it's a mix of like shooting and using a lightsaber. It's a story. There's just a lot of back and forth on some levels. I'm like, man, this is like I've been here like 4 times. I gotta go here again, but go over here this time. I don't know. That one didn't grab me as much as Vader and Immortal. Just if I was gonna rank them or whatever, but still worth checking out. Like there are some cool things that happen, and the jokes are pretty good.
All right, I got a couple games to touch on before we go too long here. One of my first ones that I wanted to shout out was probably one of my favorite ones that I played in my time with VR this past week. It's called The Last Clockwinder. I was telling you guys a little bit about this one. It's developed and published by Pontoco.
Okay.
I think they're called. Which is cool because a lot of these games are developed and published by. You don't really think about it, but most of these VR games are indie games. Like they are smaller. They are small studios.
Star Trek is not.
Most of them.
Star Trek is Ubisoft.
No.
Shout out
That's
to
why I
those-
said most.
that
They
indie dev.
Ubisoft did Star Trek.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay. But yeah, most of these VR studios are like smaller indie studios that are pumping out these really cool VR games, and they're interesting and unique, just like indie games are. But The Last Clockwinder is really cool. It's basically, so the summary here is you're on a mission to repair an ancient clock tower built into the trunk of a colossal tree. Inside the tower, you find a pair of gloves that allow you to turn anything you do into a looping clockwork automaton. Using your automatons to grow plants, harvest resources, build wild contraptions, and find a way to save the clock tower. So what's really cool, I know it's kind of hard to conceptualize it without seeing it, but think about like the most basic example of what you're doing is you are recording your movements to automate these systems. So say you have this bin here, right? And there's this fruit plant and you want to get as many fruit into this bin in the shortest amount of time, the most efficient way that you can. So you start out by, you can press a button and record any movements that you do, and it'll create a clone of you doing your movements. So I press the button, I go up, grab the fruit, put it in the bin, it stops recording. I step back, and then I see this automaton continuously grabbing the fruit and putting it in the bin, right?
Was that those robots?
Yeah. They're
I
like,
remember seeing the trailer. They're like floating robots with long arms and
they're like clones of
little
you.
drones.
Yeah.
Hanging
So
out. You get a bunch of them.
you're recording your movements, and whatever movements you do, the clones will do as well, and they'll just keep repeating it.
Okay.
So it gets more complex and complicated when you have like, so you start planting multiple, fruit plants around there's like, they're little puzzle rooms. So each room you go to, there's a different puzzle you have to solve. So say I plant more of these plants, but the bin's over here, there's a plant way across the room. So I record myself picking the fruit and throwing it across the room, right? So that clone will continuously pick and throw across the room.
Another one catches it.
Then I go across the room, record myself catching the fruit across the room,
right,
putting it in the bin. So now That's
trippy.
I have one throwing it to myself, catching it, putting in the bin, and then that's continuously doing it. And it just builds on that idea throughout the game. It's so cool.
So they made that tech. They had to come up with that concept, like using a time loop and how can you juggle and do it, like exactly like connecting the actions to solve the puzzle, and then you make the story after it around that mechanic, right? There's
a narrative story around it.
That's VR in a nutshell, though. Like, what can we do? Like, what's our gimmick? What can we do that's really innovative, really fun?
That is the best
experience here.
Best part.
And let's make a story around it. That's what it seems.
Yeah,
like.
it's the same with indie games. I feel like indie and VR go together hand in hand because, like you said, it starts with that nugget of an idea. Wouldn't it be cool if we made a game where you're just recording your movements doing these actions, and then they built a game around that single cool idea, and it just it turned out so good.
Which, I mean, I think the drawing point of VR is because like everything it's like I don't want to say uncharted territory, future of video games, but like there's a lot that they're still figuring out, and there's a lot of like things that they're still trying to learn how to do, like the movement part of it always comes back to me. Like I was looking at, I'm making Eric look at Omni treadmills earlier, and like when is Ready Player One gonna actually happen? Like when
everyone's walking around with a VR headset,
the full metaverse kind of bullshit thing where like you just leave it on and you just turn it on and off, whether you're like in reality and you're using the front facing cameras or something like that. Like it'll get there. Maybe our grandkids, but I don't know. There is still a lot of like, because we played Rec Room for a hot minute or whatever, and it's Roblox and VR essentially.
Right. Yeah.
But like even that is just kind of like not perfectly smooth, not 1-to-1. It's kind of a little wonky at times, but hey, it's fucking VR Roblox.
Yep. Yeah. The technology's still getting there. But if you have a strong enough idea, like they have in the Last Clockwinder, like those kind of singular experiences, that's another reason why I love VR games, is they are shorter experiences. Like they're cheaper games. They're, they're in the $10, $20, $30 range, for like a 3 to 5 hour experience, which is fine with me. I'm fine with.
But there's also replayability.
Exactly. There's replayability, but like I actually feel like I can get through some of these games and finish them without having such like a huge commitment. Like I can have this experience and I can put it away and be happy that I had that experience. And again, that kind of goes back to the indie game thing. It's the same thing. They're shorter experiences, but like if they're strong enough, they stick with you.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm always like trying to find games where I'm a Jedi. Of course I got like Beat Saber, which was cool, by the way.
Beat Saber's great. Eric. We played multiplayer. I didn't even know multiplayer was a thing in that game.
Yeah, it's cool. We were facing I was like behind him or something like that, and I could see him next to me, and he's doing his. We're doing the same song together. But anyways,
you're doing like splits and like fancy moves.
Brandon did some spins. Yeah, Brandon got fancy with it.
I was like, if I spin, will you see it?
Yeah, Brandon's like, watch me. He's like a 3-year-old. Watch me spin.
Yeah, watch me now. Okay, no, hey, look at me. Watch me. Look at me. Yeah, are you looking? Look at me now. Okay, I'm gonna do it again. Right? So that was cool. But no, I was playing. I think I've told you guys about this, but Fruit Ninja, the mobile game, Fruit Ninja.
Do you know they just came out with Fruit Ninja 2?
Wait, there's a second one?
Yes, I did.
There's a second one.
So Fruit Ninja's good. It's the Half Brick Studios guys, and I'll have to get the Fruit Ninja 2. But what I want to say, going back to my comment about like I always wanted to be a Jedi, when I put the VR set on is I found a game mode where it's basically survive as long as you can. It's like a survival mode. I forget the exact title, but there's like campaign, arcade, whatever. But if you go into this game mode,
It's all fruit chopping, sure.
and what's cool about it is it's not just like fruit flying up and like bombs, right? And then you got to cut the right ones and not let them hit the ground. But you're in this secluded area at this old castle like looking thing. It looks like, and they look like droids, and they kind of putter around. They don't have they kind of fly irregularly, and they're kind of like going like left and right, up and down, and they have a basket on top of them, and then randomly a fruit will shoot out. Sometimes a bomb. But what I love is you just got your sword, and you have these droids with fruit baskets, so they just shoot them at you. And I pretend that the droids during the day go into the village, buy up all the fruit, and then they come up to me and they put them in the basket. And
you give them the backstory. You give the droids, the fruit droids, the backstory. Okay.
If you have, but go. I'm making this all up, but like, and just like you're just keeping your skills, sharp.
It adds to the experience,
But like it feels like because I'm slicing and dicing with these droids shooting fruit at me. But over time, more droids come out and they shoot more fruit and bombs at you. And it's actually, I think that's way more fun than the standard mode or the arcade mode or whatever.
I thought you were gonna say like Luke Skywalker with the training droid. That's where I thought you were going with that one, but.
No, but you can do that in that Vader Immortal, which is really
cool. There's a whole training room.
That's sweet.
And then in Tales of the Galaxy's Edge, you collect those things as you do the levels, and you could you grab your chest, and then you pull out the one that you want, and you chuck it in the air, and it just kind of stops like 3 feet above you, and it'll be one that protects you or shoots or
that's sweet.
Throws bombs. Yeah, it's actually yeah.
Cool. I didn't even know there was a Fruit Ninja out for this, but that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
That's something that you always want when you're playing those games. You're just like swiping on the screen, or they have it at Chuck E. Cheese, or they have it on Connect where you're like chopping, but sword is where it's at.
Well, I got it for the kids, and they were like, "Man, we don't like it." I'm like, "Well, I bought the damn thing. Let me play it." And I just discovered that, and I'm like,
"You're not gonna play it. I'm gonna play it."
This is actually way more fun. And then they kind of made this whole fake story about what I was to get myself into it. But I guess that's role playing, right?
Yeah. I feel like you have to do some amount of role playing in VR. Especially if it's a game where you're in a specific universe. You got to just lose yourself in it. Like Dave was saying with the Star Trek thing. It just makes it more fun.
It does.
I mean, you're committed at that point. It's the getting over the hurdle of standing and putting something on your fucking head.
Dude, it's like, it's why, it goes back to part of the reason why we love video games. You want to get lost, and part of the reason why we do this show. You want to get lost in a different world, and with VR you can actually do that. Trick your brain into thinking you are in a different world.
I haven't played any horror games though. Like I haven't pulled the trigger on that.
When I want to
you said that
I was going to bring it up. One I just wanted to shout out quickly. The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners is so fucking good, but it's so stressful that I've only played it a handful of times because it's like I have to be in the right mindset to want to be in that universe.
You gotta like hack zombies in the face with hatchets and shit.
It's like if it's basically a zombie apocalypse Walking Dead simulator.
It's like good.
So it's a survival
gameplay.
It's a survival game.
Go and hit it one time and it's dead. Like you gotta like be careful with your ammo. You gotta stay in the right place.
It's a legit survival game. Like you do have like resources and food, and you're crafting new weapons and upgrades and stuff. And yeah, like your weapons have durability, and you have like stamina. So if you run too much, you'll get winded, and then the zombies will get you easier. And like,
what was the healing like? You have to take like,
dude, you gotta physically take your backpack off, grab food out of your backpack, eat it, and then put your backpack back on. And like,
it's good,
dude. It's so stressful because if you have like 2 zombies coming at you, you're fumbling. It feels so real because you're fumbling to get your weapons like off your hip, and then you can like drop your gun or your knife, and you're like you have to physically pick it up, and like the zombies are still coming for you. It's so stressful.
Doesn't sound like a game to play with a back injury, but
like it's such an amazing game.
So quick.
But I just have to be like I feel like I can't play it at night. It's just too much.
I don't blame you.
But I want to play
There's a demo out for this. I'll have to check.
I mean, it's a full ass game. Like it is. It's long. There's a long campaign. You know, it's probably 10 to 15 hours long, and I probably only got through the first maybe 5 hours of the campaign, but it's
Get
very
yourself a
very good
shotgun.
game.
Maybe there's like a cheat code that you can put in so you
Well,
can have,
that's
like,
the thing about, you know, like zombies and the Walking Dead universe. If you make too much noise, all the zombies will be drawn to you, and then, you know, if you start popping off shots, you're just going to draw more zombies. So
Oh,
really
man.
what you want to do is you know, you got to use the crouch mechanic. You got to take
Yeah,
out your
stealth.
knife and like knife him in the back of the head and then move on. Yeah, it's crazy.
Sounds gruesome and awesome at the same time.
It is, yeah, it's awesome, but I can't, like, I have, like I said, I have to be in a specific mindset to actually want to play that, you know?
Yeah.
Like when I sit down and relax, when I sit down and play a video game, I want to sit down to relax and, you know, kind of zone out. But like with that game, your heart rate's up, you're stressed out, you're on edge the entire time, you know?
So another game that I know that we both have played, I don't know, Dave, I don't think you have this one, but like Pistol Whip.
No.
That's kind of cool.
Pistol Whip
That's
is so good.
That's bright, you know, that's like
Pistol
very
Whip is
minimal.
amazing, yeah. It's
Minimal
actually
artwork.
pretty good exercise too, because you're doing a lot of squats and
Yeah.
you know, moving around.
Left, right,
Mhm.
dodge. Yeah.
And you're shooting people.
Sometimes they
or-
take your guns from you,
or-
and all
It's
you
like
can do is dodge.
popping 'em.
It's like a rhythm shooter almost. So if you shoot,
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to, but if you shoot on the beat, you get like more points and a higher score.
you're constantly going forward.
It's like
And
on
you have
rails.
different
Yeah.
kind of guns. You can have dual pistols. You can have all these different kind of pistols. Obviously, pistol whip, but I like the dual pistol.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then guys just like these abstract dudes. It's kind of like Super Hot,
Yeah, the art style's
Okay,
cool. I like
that's
it.
cool.
just
Yeah.
like Super Hot style. But yeah, you're just on auto, just moving forward, and then guys just come out from left and right.
It's like
and all that stuff.
it's basically Matrix. Like you're dodging bullets. You're, you know, pulling
Yeah.
off cool shots.
It's cool though.
Yeah, it is really cool.
Have you finished that campaign?
I did finish the campaign of that one. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, why can't I say this? I can't say it. Cloudhead Games. There's no reason
Cloudhead
why I was
Games.
stuttering on that. By Pistol, or that's Pistol Whip by Cloudhead Games. There you go.
Nice. Dave, did you have anything else you wanted to shout out? I still have a couple more to run through. But...
I did have one that I do like, and it's kind of perfect for VR, and it's table tennis. I think we were talking
I
about
forgot
this
the
earlier.
table tennis.
Oh, is that good? I was close.
It was surprisingly good.
What's it called specifically?
11 Table Tennis. It is by For Fun Labs. It's got a perfect 10 out of 10 on Steam.
Whoa, excuse me.
So, but
That's the thing with
it's-
VR games. Like it's like, oh, table tennis. How can that be fun? But like in VR, it changes it. You know,
because you could, like, again, you can be in any arena. Like, you could be in the middle of an arena. You could be, I don't know, on a beach somewhere. Which, I mean, reality is whatever you make it there. So, but it is surprisingly, it's smooth because you think it would be weird, like holding a paddle in your hand using like the VR controller. But it is, once you get the hang of it, you can put spin on balls. You can, go
okay.
sideways with it. You can up spin, top spin. You can do funky serves where you pull the trigger to like spawn a ball at the top, and you just kind of flick it up, and then you knock it in to serve it. But it gets tough. Like, I see myself making the same stupid mistakes I make in real life playing table tennis. So I know that it's being accurate, but that one I think is super fun. You can do all sorts of stuff. You can play beer pong. Like, they've got
that's
a lot
cool.
of different,
I like that.
a lot of different modes. You can do like training modes where they're like teaching you how to do forespin, side spins and stuff like that. There's
Interesting.
all sorts
Okay.
of stuff you can do. I believe that one is multiplayer too, which would be fun. Yes, online
would be
PvP table tennis in virtual reality. It's the next. That's the next phase.
I'm curious how many, like, if the three of us wanted to play, would it be like rotating, like, winner or loser gets out and the next person comes in? I'm curious if it's only two players.
Probably, yeah. I don't know if they have doubles. If that's what you're
That would be
asking.
cool.
But doubles could get interesting. But yeah, VR table tennis. I think it's one of the more popular ones out there. I know there are a couple different table tennis games for VR, but it seems to be the the smoothest and the best one.
It's cool.
But-
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that simple idea. It's so weird because walkabout mini golf. I was looking at that for the longest time. I was like, okay, mini golf is fun in real life, but how much fun am I going to really have with this VR game, where I'm just doing mini golf? But then you buy it and you go into it and there's just something about it. There's just something magical about it.
Well, it's magical. The level design's really, really good. The artwork is really nice. It's fun with friends, all that stuff. You can fuck with each other,
and it's cool because there's
there's
hidden balls in each level that you got to find, collect.
Well, you were saying, Dave, you didn't hear about this because Dave didn't charge his headset or something. He just vanished wait through the course. But like you were talking about each level, you can get like you had a sword instead.
So for the pirate level, the secret club was like a sword that was, a sword golf club. So each level there's like a scavenger hunt that you can do. And like this is I think it's only on like the hard. So there's easy and hard for each of the courses. So in the hard mode, in each of the courses, there's a scavenger hunt that you can do to get a special club. So in the pirate level, that's the only one I've done so far. You find these bottles around the level and you have to search for them. So you find the first bottle, it gives you a clue to where the next bottle is. And then every time you find a bottle, it gives you a clue. So like,
that's awesome.
The next clue is by the big windmill on hole 5. This one is by the dead man on hole 9. So like you got to go around the entire level searching for these bottles. And then once you get to the last bottle, you find your special club and you unlock it.
I mean,
like that was one of the funnest things I did.
It's in a mini golf game too, and it's a scavenger hunt. It's fucking awesome.
Because just like mini golf, it's Dave's turn. All right, well, what do Eric and I do? We could fuck around, talk to each other, kind of scope out the map, I guess. Or we could do fun things like that.
Search for the hidden balls, or it's so.
And you just hit one button. One button just
so
teleports you right back to your ball. So it's not like you gotta like.
True.
Oh, hey John, walk all the way over here. Like,
right,
nope,
it's your shot. It's your shot, douchebag.
A couple things I noticed that I really liked. One, if you hit this button, you can see the map. You can go to map view.
Oh,
but it's like
so
the way they do it.
So cool.
It's so cool.
It's
you
like
become a giant, and you're looking at the entire level, and it's real time. I could see Eric playing on the course, really small, and he's like waving at. We were waving at each other and switching back and forth.
Yeah.
But it's just like you see this. It's like a train set. It's just like look at this little thing. Like the water is moving, and
one of those things you used to make in when you were
a diorama.
Diorama, thank you.
Yes,
it's kind of like that. Just like you're a giant looking into this little.
There's
space.
something
like a dollhouse or something. Like
Yep.
I wish I could interact with it though. But other than that, I thought that was really cool. And then Eric showed me that if you take your pole and you hold it up straight up above, you turn into Mary Poppins basically, and you start flying upward.
You go into like God mode, no clip mode.
That's
you
awesome.
can just fly around the map.
Yep.
Yeah, just looking around.
That's how I did the scavenger hunt a lot of times. Like I'm like, okay, I don't want to teleport all the way over here. I'll just fly over to this hole, grab the bottle, go to the next clue.
Yeah.
Like, it's so
all in a mini golf game. You think that the gimmick would be you're playing golf,
right?
But you're not there. It's virtual. But it's like no, they actually like made it really charming. Yeah, you said magical. That one is more. That one's got more personality. It's cute music. It's cute artwork. It's fun, fucking around with each other and all that stuff. It's great. And the golf in general is fun too. Like
it's surprisingly accurate. Like the physics in it is good, and like the putting is very accurate. When you hit it short, you're gonna fluff it. So
yeah, I mean, I had a great time playing by myself, but yeah, it makes it even better with you guys. Like I would love to play some more.
Absolutely.
Like, I couldn't get enough of that. All right. I know we're kind of running out of time here, but I got a couple more that I want to quickly go through and shout out.
Sure. Let's do it.
Trover Saves the Universe is one. That is Justin Roiland joint Squanch Games. This is on it's on VR and non-VR platforms. But the gimmick here is actually kind of fun. I mean, it's obviously that, Rick and Morty style humor. So the jokes are hit and miss. Some of them are funny. I think it makes it better in VR. But basically, the premise is that your dogs have been kidnapped by this alien called Glorcon, and he puts them in his eyeballs. It's stupid, weird concept. But what you're doing in the actual game, you are this race of aliens called Chairorpians, which is really smart and funny because you can play this entire game sitting down.
Okay.
So your character is sitting in a chair the entire time. So in real life, you can sit down and play this game. And
they're perfect for you, Dave.
You are so you have, like, in virtual space, you have a controller, like a game controller in your hand. And then this other alien named Trover comes and he's like, oh, we gotta basically save the universe from this race of aliens or whatever. And you are controlling Trover. So you're sitting in the chair, Trover's over here, and you are the one controlling his movements. And so it's weird because it's like almost like playing a regular video game, but it's in virtual space. So like, you're moving Trover around with the analog stick, you're attacking enemies, and you're jumping around, exploring the environment. But you can like look around in 3D space, and you can like pop your chair up to get like better views. It sounds boring and weird, but it's really cool. I think some of the most fun I've had in VR is actually not doing stuff in first person, but doing stuff in third person. Like being in VR, having that perspective to look around, but controlling another character in the environment. Right. It was like the same thing. So that's what it does in Trover, and it's the same thing in Moss, the one with the mouse game.
Yeah.
Where you're controlling this little mouse going through these environments. And it's kind of like the Walkabout mini golf, like you said. You're kind of looking down at these small environments, and you're controlling this little character.
So cool.
Like... It's weird because you're like, oh, VR, you want to be in first person doing the thing. But some of the coolest games that I've played are you're actually in third person and
I want to be sitting doing the thing. I don't want to be
right. Exactly. You're making someone else do the work. You're controlling the character. But Dave, I think, yeah, if that's what you want in VR, I think Trover Saves the Universe would be really fun. But
I'm looking it up now.
I mean, you're going around, you're collecting power babies.
That sounds like a Justin Roiland thing. Yeah.
Yep, to power your character up and get new abilities and everything. But yeah, that one's goofy and fun. Another one that I played was called Red Matter. Red Matter. This was developed and published by Vertical Robot. This one's more of a story-driven, like a puzzle adventure type game.
Okay.
So I mean, I'm a sucker for like exploring derelict space stations.
Yeah,
that's kind of what you're doing in this.
Okay.
So it's set during like the sci-fi Cold War era, and it's basically you're on one side of this faction. It's like two warring factions. So this like fictional country called Volgravia or whatever. So there's this base on Mars, and you're exploring an abandoned Volgravian base on like a moon, one of Saturn's moons. And you're basically just trying to investigate what's going on here, solve a top secret mystery that's going on. But a lot of the puzzle mechanics are really cool. So I mean, that's basically what the game is all about, is solving the puzzles. But I think the main draw is like the atmosphere of it, being in the space station, just the architecture of it, like the brutalist type architecture in like the Cold War era. All that stuff is cool, like the sci-fi Cold War stuff.
Is it a horror game?
So it's not a horror game, but there are some like
I looked
weird.
At the trailer and it looked creepy.
There are some creepy, weird, mysterious elements. I wouldn't call it horror.
Is something trying to kill you while you're playing?
No. So
Can you die in this game?
Not that I've seen. I don't think so. I think it's mainly just exploration and like puzzle solving. But there is some weird, creepy stuff going on this space station. There is I don't want to spoil it, but there is definitely a mystery that you're trying to solve. Like within the first, I think I played this game for like an hour and a half. Within the first hour, I saw something weird happen. And like they're giving me little hints that, there's something more than meets the eye here.
Yeah, it's in the trailer. That's what I was just like.
So there's a mystery here that's pulling you along. It's the narrative that's kind of pulling you along.
Okay.
And the puzzle the puzzle solving is really fun. There's just something about like pulling levers and pushing buttons in VR that is always fun.
Dave,
yeah.
Dave might like that.
Yeah, but yeah, that one's really cool. And like I said, the environment is really cool as well. But those were the main ones, and then Cooking Simulator as well.
That sounded fun. That sounds like weirdly like not like cathartic, but like just like relaxing fun.
I played Cooking Simulator. I talked about this on our
What'd you make?
most recent catch-up episode. What did I make? Like some roasted pork chops with potatoes.
Okay.
Some fried like roasted salmon.
Sounds good.
But yeah, no, it was fun. Like I played Cooking Simulator on Xbox, and it was, like I said, it was a little finicky and weird because you got to use the analogs.
Yeah, analogs doesn't match up.
Right. You know, and you got to physically do everything with the analogs, which doesn't really,
No.
it gets frustrating sometimes.
Can you cut off a finger in Cooking Simulator VR?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I haven't tried it yet, but
all right. Good to know. No kitchen accents.
But I think in VR it's a lot more intuitive because you're doing everything physically. You know, you need to get something out of the fridge. Okay, walk over to the fridge, open up the fridge, grab it, close it. You need to flip something in the pan, grab your spapula.
So they get overcooked in VR. How fucking intense would that get?
My God, please.
So many people yelling at each other. That would be
It's hilarious. A little more chill than that.
Yes, I would think so.
You get orders coming in, but it's like you get a very generous amount of time to complete each order, and it's very well spaced out.
That's cool.
And like you have screens all around you. You can pull the recipe up right on the screen, so you don't have to like memorize how to make everything. Because you need like okay, I'm making the salmon. I need 5 grams of salt, 5 grams of pepper, 5 grams of dill, and then I need to fry it on both sides for 90 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
We'll put 10 milliliters of sunflower oil in the pan.
Okay.
Turn it on. Put the salmon in the pan. Yeah, flip it over for 90 seconds.
I
while
only
simultaneously
eat my salmon.
roasting the potatoes in the oven. So
only sunflower oil on my salmon.
I would be horrible at that game.
That's pretty friggin' detailed.
You are doing
scratch.
some multitasking because you're seasoning the stuff, and then you got to pay attention to the salmon. You got to set a timer to make sure that you get the right amount of time. It's not overcooked.
Oh my God.
This is intense.
And then you put the potatoes in the oven for however long they take.
They're gonna
salt them when they come out, plate it all up, and then serve it up.
Next is gonna be like the menu in VR.
You get to eat it.
Right.
Oh, dude.
The menu would be good, and then everybody dies at the end. Womp womp womp. There are, that's one note that I did have is like, there's tons of genres that like none of us even really talked about. Like where is a solid like real time strategy game where like you're just standing over like a mini map and directing?
They are out
stuff
there
like that. Like
they're out there on Steam.
Yeah,
I
but
think.
Like that's something that we haven't really dug into. Like one thing that I'd be interested in, I saw there was like a Catan, like Settlers of Catan, like playing board games in VR is probably got to be kind of interesting because you can do all sorts of cool stuff that like board games are just like tokens and cards and stuff like that. But you can do all sorts of cool animations with board games there. There is a lot of stuff coming out too. I was peeking at some of the schedules coming up. There was an Aliens game that is coming to VR.
There's supposed to be a Ghostbusters game coming
out.
There's
Ghostbusters. I would love to play that.
Assassin's Creed. There's all sorts of stuff. I think they just put out Resident Evil 4 VR.
Resident Evil 4, it's been out on a while.
Yeah.
On Quest 2, yep.
But they say that Capcom did it right. They said this is
I've heard
arguably
nothing
the
but good
best
things about that.
way to experience the game.
Really?
People are that passionate about it. It's universally praised. Nobody's saying anything bad about it. They're saying this is like everything you would want.
And it's
it's like really good.
It's like Quest's like flagship title. Beat Saber was, but now like because Resident Evil 4 is exclusive to the MetaQuest, so like that's like the game that you want to buy when you get a Quest.
And Capcom is like ever since Resident Evil 7, they've really turned that ship around. They kind of lost their way with 5 and 6, which are fun games. But, they weren't, 4, as good as 4 was, and we're talking about how good 4 is, but, like, it changed the franchise, and it became this weird, kind of dumb shooter. You know, they did some weird offshoots and all that stuff, but when Resident Evil 7 came out, it was like, holy shit! Everybody took a step back, like we're back to being scary, and it's first person. Then 8 came out. They did the remakes of 2 and 3. They were great. Like you said, 2 is like the remake of 2 is incredible.
Yeah.
They do this. They do 4. They did a remake of 4 that was supposed to be really good. That just came out. And then Resident Evil 4 on VR is great. So
Resident Evil is back,
Capcom for doing
baby.
it.
They're treating that franchise right now.
Right.
And they have that Village is coming out soon too. So
yeah, it's already out on VR for the PSVR 2.
Villages, okay.
Yep. Resident Evil Village is out on PSVR 2. I played a little bit, like maybe 20 minutes of Resident Evil 7 on PlayStation VR.
Too scary.
Too fucking scary.
I'm mad.
The minute I walked into that house, I like walked around for a minute and I'm like, nope, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I can't do this. Like I walked through the kitchen and then I like looked up the stairs and I'm hearing all these sounds. I'm like, fuck this.
Yeah. And it is weird how good the sound in the Oculus is, because you don't wear anything over your ears, but
yeah,
I noticed something where
speakers,
somebody's talking to me and I look to my left and it only comes out of the left. Like it's got the head recognition.
Give me a game that's like that though. Like give me a game where like I have minimal visuals and I have to rely on my sound. That'd be pretty sweet.
No. I know something like when something kicks on too, you get like a little puff of air. I don't know if that's on purpose or not, but maybe they got my shit kinked up. Or you guys don't feel it because you got hair up top. Maybe I'm just getting more of the top wind.
That's funny.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird. Yeah. It's weird because it's like it's an expensive hobby, I'll call it. But it is, I don't know, there's nothing really like it. Like kind of once you get into it and experience it, it's, you know, other games are always still cool.
Well,
like
VR games how about this? Let's end with this. Who is this for? Who would actually get something out of, like, who would actually, because we talked about, like, yeah, you got to be kind of awake. You kind of got to be in the mood to engage with your game, like the game. You can't just like, I mean, apparently there's some games you can sit down and but it's still putting it over your head. It's like sensory overload.
Oh yeah,
it's a commitment.
Definitely.
It's not just like sitting down on your couch and
it's not passive. It's like you gotta be in it. You know, it's different than like, playing a normal video game.
If somebody's listening to this, they've listened to this and like, wow, those games sound fun. It sounds like they had a great time with these games. Maybe it's time I finally do get maybe a Quest 2. What? Like who was that for? Because I don't think it's for any gamer.
I mean, because we kind of touched on a lot of different use cases. We're like, my kids were playing Rec Room. Eric uses it to work out. Like,
dude, yeah,
there's a couple different things you do. Probably, I would say people that are playing in shorter bursts, people that are not looking to get into like, you know, long game sessions. I think would be a good thing to. But I mean, I don't know, people that like experiences.
Yeah, I'd say if you've been like VR curious for a while,
like seriously, I like that nomenclature. It's nice.
If you're like, you know, like you said, Brandon, if you've been hemming and hawing a while, you're like, I want to try VR. I'm interested. I'm curious. I feel like now is probably a better time as any to hop into, especially with the Quest 2. Like, it's affordable. It's, I mean, $400 if you got an extra $400 lying around. I got lucky because when I got my Quest 2, I was searching around. I was searching around the Facebook Marketplace, and I got mine last year in the summer, and this was right after they hiked the price, because Quest 2 was originally $300. They hiked it up to $400.
Yeah.
And this was right after they hiked it up to $400. I found a secondhand headset on the Facebook Marketplace for $150.
Hey.
And I'm like, I am hopping on that shit because they just raised the price to $400.
Well, okay, but for $400, do you think it's still worth it though? I mean, it's still an investment.
I would say
you gotta force yourself to use it. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
You gotta force yourself to use it. Yeah.
With the Quest library right now, they've built it up a lot. There's a lot to play out there,
especially
and like
lately. I feel like this year they've really come into the what they've been working
There
on.
are so many good games out there.
What it
right
needs
now.
is that Oculus needs a Game Pass. Oculus needs like a monthly subscription where they filter stuff in and out and like let you try other stuff.
There is something like
idea.
that, but it's not for Oculus. It's for like Steam or like PC VR.
This PlayStation probably should have something like that, I would think, but
I don't know if they don't
let
really
them build
include...
the catalog.
Yeah,
let you
for
know,
sure.
But, like we need more people. We need more studios though. Like Ubisoft taking it serious, Capcom taking it serious. Because it sounds like when they do, they do it. They're making a genuine experience, and I don't want to see like Rare go, "We'll make a game, Sea of Thieves," and just fucking pour it over like a bullshit version. Like
Rare would do nice, but yeah, I see what you're saying. You don't want,
saying like it's.
I think
it's
we're
easy
past
to fall in the trap of like
we're past that part though, where people are just like trying to get something to get their name out there. But we'll see. I don't know. I googled it real quick. The MetaQuest 3 is supposed to be coming out this year at some point. So I would say if you are VR curious, you could wait for that announcement, and when people start dumping their Quest 2s, you slide in the back door and you scoop that shit.
Yeah. And it's not about the graphics. Like you're not going to be wowed by the graphics. Like they're like PS3 360 kind of graphics.
Yeah, it's solid. It's believable where you're
best.
not getting thrown off by it. But
the sound is really good, and
the hardware's not
very
like
smart.
I said. The hardware's not super powerful, and it's not going to knock your socks off. But it's smooth. It runs well.
Go to YouTube and stream 4K video if you want to, get your mind blown.
Right. Yeah. I would say at the price it is now, like I said, this is the Quest 2 is like the most accessible headset you can get as far as price compared to other PC and even the PSVR. Like PSVR 2, you need a PlayStation 5, that's $500 right there. You need the headset, that's $550 right there. Yeah. That's over $1,000 already, plus a game. With a PC, you need your gaming PC, which is fucking who knows how much. You need $1,000 headset. So Quest 2, you have everything all in one, $400. Boom, right there. That's all you need.
And there's free shit
there is free games, yeah.
Like what is it?
It's not like an ad.
Right,
well,
but it's.
I mean, like if we like something, we like something, and like there is free stuff there. So like, let's just have fun with VR. Like let's learn what you can do with VR, and those simulations that they put you through, they're kind of charming. They're like, you can grab a paper airplane and gently throw it in the air and let go, and it shows you how to use your fingers.
That's cool.
In VR, but it's also flicking an airplane. Like, and you can get like other toys and play around with them. It's just they behave like the real thing. I don't know. I like those things a lot, and those are fun.
There's lots of free to play games. There's lots of demos out there of games, and I think it is really smart to try before you buy with a VR. Especially if you do get like motion sickness, you want to know that you can handle a game before you actually drop the money on it.
For sure.
But yeah, I think
I got mine for work. I'm just glad I didn't even have to dive in there. Just work somewhere cool, and you can get an Oculus.
Then you can get it. Sure. That's the moral of the story. Work somewhere cool, and you'll get an Oculus.
Be cooler.
But yeah, I don't know. You guys got anything else? I feel like we kind of
no, it's fun.
Covered all our bases here.
I'm looking forward to playing more stuff and playing new stuff as it comes out. Like Ghostbuster game looks cool. So I mean, who doesn't want to bust ghosts in VR?
Yeah, I always want to play more VR, and like I think with you guys, it would be even more fun than doing it solo. And if we all committed to, let's set up
mini golf night.
VR night. Yeah, let's set up a VR night and let's just dive in there and try some stuff out, hop around. Like Brandon and I did last night. It was fun just hopping around to a couple different things, checking out Population 1, Beat Saber, doing some mini golf. Like it's super fun, but you really do have to like make it a point to set up time to play it.
Make sure your shit's charged.
It's so much easier just to make sure your stuff's charged too. Because I would say because I got if you are looking to play like longer sessions in VR, I have a third party headset and it has like a battery pack attachment that you can get, so you can buy it. It's like magnetic and it just magnets to the back of it,
Huh.
and it gives you extra battery life.
That's pretty cool.
It's really cool. So if you're looking for longer sessions, I would look into like third party accessories and stuff. And they're not, the strap I bought was like, I don't know, $30 or something. So it's not crazy expensive. But yeah, it's cool. I want to play more, but it's just a matter of committing to it, because it's so much easier just to be like, all right, I want to play a video game, so I'm just going to turn on my Xbox. I don't want to strap this thing to my head, stand up, and, move around. I want to sit in this chair and fucking stare at the TV.
Yep. It's the
Yep.
struggle.
After
the
a long
eternal
work day.
struggle.
But yeah, we'll wrap it up here. I know we went a little bit long, but it was a good talk about VR.
Oh, shit. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, it was a different kind of conversation because it's like talking about tech and gaming and yeah, it was an interesting one, but it was cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the goal, if it's to convince people to play VR or just to inform people about our experiences and whether that influences them or not to try it. That's up to you. But yeah, we'll end that act here and we'll hop into Act 3 and play a nice little easy game of video game 20 questions right after this. And we are back with a little round of video game 20 questions. Hopefully you guys will get this one quickly, since we spent so long talking about VR games, but we shall see. If you don't know how 20 questions works, yeah, you guys will ask me a series of yes or no questions, and you get 19 questions and one guess to guess the game I am thinking of. And that's about it. So I'll let the questioning begin.
Is this a VR game?
Is this a VR game? No.
Okay.
You should have said, does this game have VR as an option to play? Because you know how Resident Evil 4
Well,
has a VR version.
sure. Technically.
But anyway,
Ver.
sorry. Is this game an exclusive?
No.
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 I wonder if it.
No.
Oh, it makes me want to ask, like, if it originally was exclusive. But maybe we'll assume that
is
for
this-
now.
After the year 2000.
Yes.
After the year 2010.
Oh shit! I haven't been keeping track of questions. What are we on? Question 4.
2010 is question 4.
All right. After 2010, yes.
Is this a first-person game?
No.
Do you kill things in this game?
Yes.
Man, I don't want to get down the genre or the look of it, but
Is this game made in Japan?
No.
is this? Is this what we would call like a third-person action adventure?
No.
So we still got we're killing stuff. So it could be arcade games. It could be, I don't know. It's not third person. It's not first person.
Is this part of a franchise?
No.
Oh, what? The only game of of its kind.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess it is. Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, a franchise.
Okay.
Is this
Should we not? It sounds like we shouldn't read too far into that.
is this based off of an intellectual property?
No. That's 10, I believe.
Does this game have multiplayer?
Yes.
Do you want to narrow down the dates on it still?
No.
You know that it's 2010, so that's what, 360 Xbox?
Yep.
After 2010.
For
It's not exclusive.
PS3,
It's not
PS4.
VR. It's not first person. It's not a third person action game. What about genre? Like it could be a puzzle game. It could be a. Well, we're killing.
got
We're killing
multiplayer,
things,
and
and
you
there's
can kill
multiplayer.
things in it, and it's not first person, and it's not an action adventure.
Is it an RTS? Like
So like RTS, or a brawler, right? Like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Mayhem kind of thing.
that's true.
You know,
This is part of a franchise.
is it?
so-
It's like, oh well, shoot, yeah. The multiplayer. So, is multiplayer 4 players or less?
4 players or less?
I'm trying to distinguish like a 4-player game where you do co-op in some capacity versus like deathmatch multiplayer, like tons of like 20 plus people. So I'm asking, is the multiplayer 4 players or less
Yeah.
only?
Yeah.
It is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Only.
Yeah, only.
Okay. All right. Okay. Did that help you, Dave? Do you know what I was trying to ask there?
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough though, because I don't know. I don't know what we're looking for here. It's not a first-person game. It's not a third.
Well, it's not a third-person
we
action
could-
adventure.
Yeah. We could narrow down brawler, I guess, because that is a genre that we don't touch really here. Eric could be getting tricky with us.
Is it a brawler?
A brawler?
Yeah.
No.
Damn. How many questions do we have?
I think that's 13.
1, 2, 3,
Oh, okay.
12.
12?
Unless I
Sure.
missed one.
I don't know.
Franchise based off of something. Wait, you said no, it's not based off of something, right?
It's not based off of a previously established IP.
And then
No,
multiplayer.
But it is technically part of a franchise in some way.
Yeah.
American made, or well, it's not made in Japan. Rather,
Right. Not made in Japan.
it could be Europe. Could be.
Huh. Well, this is a pickle.
We don't even know what console it's on.
I was just thinking that because we do know
It's not exclusive.
it's not exclusive, yeah. So that could be on multiple things. We could narrow down the main consoles, but I think it would have to come out on those. Is this a puzzle game?
No.
I mean, all right, we knew that because you're going around killing things. But I guess like, are there puzzles in it? Is what you're saying?
Yeah. Essentially. Because that could be any now. That's true. Wow, that's a toughie. Thought you said this was gonna be a quick one.
Thought it would be.
All right.
Do you want me to give you a small hint?
No.
Maybe we could go with something like,
Small
have we
hint.
mentioned this game before?
Fine. Give us your small hint, just because I have no idea where to go.
I know you've both played this game before.
Okay. All right. All right. Okay.
I was gonna grind my gears now.
Is this game on the Switch? Like, is it available on the Switch?
It is available on the Switch, yes.
Interesting. Could be Cuphead, Dave.
That's
Is that a brawler?
15 or 14. I don't know. I lost track.
Cuphead is not a brawler, but not a bad choice there because that is available on multiple platforms now. It was originally exclusive.
Right. And it has a franchise. Well, it has a TV show.
Yeah, well, I mean, because the franchise question, he was a little iffy on. I mean, we could ask if it's a side scroller. I guess that could narrow things down.
Is it a side scroller?
It is a side scroller.
Oh, it's a big one.
Okay. All right, we might be able to pull this off.
Okay, well, do we nail down the year? Because if it's Cuphead, it's after 2020. Well, because we just know how recent it is, essentially.
We've played this,
Yeah.
and it's barely part of a franchise. But I think Cuphead has a TV show based off of the game, which is different.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good cartoon.
You know?
Minus
Yeah, it's all right.
The voices are a little
are
annoying. Yeah.
Yeah. Could have done it with better voices, but the artwork is great. Okay.
I mean, well, we could ask. I mean, Metroidvanias also fall into this. Like you could, like Ori or Castlevanias, or
but it's got multiplayer.
You know,
Cuphead has multiplayer.
It does.
Like maybe we ask if this game is known for like its visual style.
That could be.
And that was like the big thing about that game, but does that help? I don't know.
What are we at here?
Cuphead.
13, 14, 15.
Is this a very hard game? Like it's kind of known for being hard.
That's subjective.
All right. Well then, then don't answer that. Don't answer that because I thought
not for me. I'm a professional gamer. This fucking shit's easy.
Cuphead is supposed to be hard.
It is. I mean,
but I guess it does have an easy mode.
Depends who you're playing with, though.
Yeah.
I mean, the year I get stuck on, but because I can't think of anything side scrolling because it's not a brawler. What other side scrollers have come out? I guess in the last 13 years.
That's not really based on a franchise.
Is this come out after the year 2020?
No.
Oh.
Did Cuphead come out after 2020? No, it came out in like 2016 or something like that.
What? Really? It's 2016? How old am I?
Is this game known for having a retro art style, cartoon art style?
Yes.
All right. God damn it! It's making us extend this episode longer than it has to. Is this game Cuphead?
Yes, it is Cuphead. I don't know how you pulled that out of your ass, Brian. And randomly, you're just like, it could be Cuphead. I'm like, okay, so where did you come up with that?
Because all I could think of was like Diablo and like, and I'm like, it's not third person action. It's not something like that. So like, what else could it be? Because Diablo's clearly a franchise. So then I'm like, And then I go, oh, what about the Switch? What's going on the Switch? Like, let's see if it's on that. And when he said it was on that, I'm like, okay. So it's on the Switch. And then for some reason, Cuphead just came
That's
to
so
me.
weird.
What
Then
year
I'm
did
like,
that come
let's-
out in? I want to know now.
2017 it came out on
Wow.
Xbox.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I remember
Yeah.
we were playing it at Clever Method, our old
Yeah.
job, yeah. And yeah, I don't know. I just remember playing that on one of our game nights.
I've played it at like a buddy's house that he has since moved from. And I know,
I was like,
based
I
on
knew.
what
It
kids
was...
he had, that
Well,
existed.
Dave was going 2020. I'm like, it came out on
I know,
PlayStation
COVID
4
fucks with
during
your sense of
2020.
time,
but...
man. That's why we were talking about Annihilation last week. Like, when did that movie come out? It feels like it came out 10 years ago. It came out like 2 years
Yeah,
ago.
it was very staggered. It was exclusive on Xbox for a year until it came to Mac, and then in 2018,
Oh.
Switch in 2019, and PS4
Yeah.
in 2020. Sweet.
Crazy.
Huh.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cuphead.
Good
But
on
when
us.
you were
Congratulations.
hesitant on the franchise question, you were is because there's a TV
The
show.
TV
after.
show, the TV show,
Yeah.
and then is there? I don't know if there's a sequel that.
There's like a DLC where they added a character and like some.
Yeah, there's DLC. Okay, it's not a full blown sequel, but yeah, the TV show was where I got hung up. I was like, okay, technically, there's
That's a good pick. No, that's. I'm impressed we got it.
I am also impressed. I was like, the way it was going, I'm like,
I was struggling.
You were
Oh,
on like question 12 or something. And Brandon's like, could be Cuphead. I'm like, what? Where did that come from?
Yeah, you should play poker because you didn't even like flinch.
I
to
was
that.
trying so hard. I was,
Yeah, like man, there's nothing on.
I had to take like a sip of water just to,
It could be. I don't know. You ask questions.
That was good. Well, congratulations. You guys are going to space camp. Woo! Once again. All right. Let's wrap this puppy up. This was a long one. If you want to follow us, you can follow us at Nomads of Fantasy on Twitter and Instagram. You can join our Discord at the nomadsoffantasy.com/Discord. Come in and chat with us. Come in there and chat with us. You can send us an email if you want at nomadsoffantasy@gmail.com. Send us some emails. I love that email. That was fun.
That was
fun.
good. I enjoyed that.
Send us some more. You can go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@nomadsoffantasy. We got some video content up there. And
Yeah, Bahubali 2
it's
blew up on YouTube.
got like
those indie
1,400
review.
views in the last like 48 hours. I'm like, okay, sure. Why
Bahubali
not?
2 it's a good one to go back to. That was a great movie.
Yep. And we got our catch-ups on there. We're doing video formats now. Hopefully, I mean, we're planning to do at least video, if not a live stream, video for our 100th episode. But I would love to do a live stream if we can.
That'd be fun.
But we'll put the archive up there if we do that as well. So yeah, subscribe on YouTube. And I think that's about it. Let's roll out.
Sweet.
Let's get out of the metaverse now because I'm
Back to life.
tired of being in here. Back to reality. That's right. But yes, as always, safe travels, Nomads.